Now initially that looks pretty good, we've got some nice distressed effect, but the problem I have with this is that the edge of the lettering is just too sharp. If this is really distressed and broken in the middle, obviously the edge of the type would also be the same, very broken up and messy. So let's find a quick way to do that. What I'm going to do is come back to the Paths palette and once again make an original selection from the book title path, Control click or Command click on the Mac, go to the Channels palette and create a brand new channel based on that particular selection we now have, and there's Alpha 2. Just want you to click to go into Alpha 2. There we can see it. We want to make sure that it's still selected. What we're going to do is make this selection slightly thinner and then roughen up its edges and apply it again as a layer mask into our original one. If we were to roughen up the edges of this that we see now, some of the roughening will be applied outside and some inside. And when we use it as a mask, we would still notice some hard edges. So basically, if you make the original area that is to be distressed slightly smaller, you will see more of the mask when it is finished and applied. So what I'm going to do is again press X to switch the foreground and background colors round. So black is now in the foreground. Let's come up to the Edit menu and go down and choose Stroke. Because we have a selection active, we can now stroke based on that particular selected area. And I'm going to apply a setting of about 10 pixels, making sure that it is set to center. That means that 5 pixels will go outside and 5 pixels inside, but you can see there that it's exactly what we need. It's just thinner than the original, gives us a good place to start. Now I can press Ctrl D now and deselect. We don't need it highlighted. And then let's come back up to the filter menu, come down to the brush strokes option and choose spatter. Okay, now once again, this will fire up the new filter gallery window. And this allows us to move around and see exactly the effect that we're having here over the type. And you see just a beautiful rendering around the outside that makes it look like it was almost painted with a stamp, like someone just kept splatting a stamp down until they got the finished lettering. Now obviously it needs a little bit of adjustment. It's a little over spattered if you like at this point. So what we can do is increase or decrease the spray radius. Okay, so I'm going to bring that down just a little bit. And then when the smoothness setting is, you can decrease the smoothness to get a little bit more roughness around the outside. Or if you go the other way, obviously, it will make the strokes effectively bigger. So I actually want to go smaller. I want more of a distressed edge. But then what I want to do is take the spray radius and maybe just reduce it a little bit more round about there. So we just have that visual effect of roughness around the edge, but we don't detract too much from the original lettering just by removing all of those pixels. Now once that's done, go ahead and click OK. We can now see the finished channel is ready to use. So once again, let's go back to the RGB channels by clicking on the name. Hold down the Control key or the Command key on the Mac and click on Alpha 2 this time to make a selection of the spattered edge that we just created. Now we need to make that part of our layer mask. So I want you to come back to the Layers palette. Make sure that the Layer 1 mask here is selected. Make sure that icon's highlighted. You'll see a gray square here with a white circle in it. That tells us we're in Layer Mask. If you're on the layer itself, you will see a paintbrush. Do make sure you're in the mask because we're obviously going to use this selection to make that masked area. Now currently we have the internal part selected. We want to select just the outside before we make it a mask. So once again, we'll use the inverse keyboard shortcut. Shift Control I or Shift Command I on the Mac will select everything outside here now and not the inside. All we have to do now is fill that with black to hide the part of the image that we don't need. And all that is again is holding down the Alt key or the Option key on the Mac and hitting Delete or Backspace to fill that with your black edge. If you now deselect it, you'll see a beautifully rendered edge, nicely roughened around the outside, plus our distressed effect in the middle, which really makes this look like it's been painted on the wall.